Welcome and bienvenidos to Cultural Capacity, a podcast sponsored by Educator Aid Incorporated, where our team is committed to supporting individuals and organizations on their journey of self-aware leadership, emotional wellness, and development of effective cross-cultural communications. Let's get ready to explore the following topics together by biting into them with little pieces that go really deep to examine ourselves. Topics like bias, culture, cultural psychology, cultural neuroscience, diversity, equity, inclusion, and racial equity. Our episodes are all 10 minutes or less and intended to serve as introspective tools for you as the individual leader or the teams that you're leading. Be sure to check out the links in the podcast description where you can sign up for our free quarterly subscription, Better Community, as well as tap in and submit your questions via the voice message button. Let's get ready to learn together. Welcome to this episode of the Cultural Capacity Podcast. This is Justine Gonzalez in this episode. Once again, I am so looking forward to 2022. I already have lots of response from people on Twitter, some partners I get to work with through my consulting firm, and many other people, including yourself. So if you're listening and you think, man, I have a question I would love to riff off of for, 5 to 10 minutes, something under 10 minutes. We do promise that the main content of these episodes is 10 minutes or less. And the intention, just to remind you all, behind this structure is that you could take a commonly asked question, right? That perhaps if you find yourself in a role where you are leading some teammates, or even if you're not there yet and you want to share with some other people you work alongside, the design of this is to actually be able to send out one episode around a central question to your team, or just as a reminder, if you send out a weekly email to your teams, or however you want to use it, right? We want it to be flexible and for your personal development, but it can also easily be used to create space for people to process reactions, emotions, where they find themselves at a staff meeting, a team meeting, regularly planned weekly sessions, whatever your situation is in the workplace. I do work with a lot of schools as well as nonprofits, so there are often recurring meetings. And one of the biggest questions I get asked is, how do we continually keep anti-racism, equity, inclusion, these different umbrellas of work at the forefront that many folks are very committed to, especially in the context of the Americas, and how we really shift some cultural norms that quite honestly really need to be shifted in our country. So I put that out there just as a reminder that this is supposed to be a tool. Please share it. Please utilize it to kick off and pick apart and have conversations with your team, or just send it out even as a reflection tool. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. I am a nerd alert over here. So I'm looking at texts right now. Handbook of Cultural Psychology, Cross-Cultural Psychology, Clinical Neuroscience for Cultural Neuroscience, Cultural Psychology, another book, Research Design. So anyways, I'm going on and on, but this is my world. I want to be able to help you all answer questions. So don't forget that you can use that voice message option and submit a question you have, or you can just leave me a note saying, hey, I'd love to answer one of the questions. So more to come with that in 2022 as we grow and expand together. Please know that we are going to be diversifying the voices of who you hear answering different questions on the Cultural Capacity Podcast. So again, this is your personal catalog to really just search what's a question that you would find interesting to kind of understand more about, and a perspective that myself or somebody else is offering on that question. So today, I do want to briefly talk in this episode about this whole idea of surface level diversity and deep level diversity. So diversity has become this massive buzzword. And often the immediate thing I encounter in working with groups across the United States is that you say diversity and they immediately start rattling off their demographics of their staff, meaning they'll say, well, we have 2 Black men in this role. We have 1 Latina in this role. And this is without me asking them for demographics. I just ask a question like, talk to me a little bit about the diversity of the team you're leading. So I put this out there. There's a great article that I dove into on Harvard Business Review some years back, as well as a lot of actual other research. And the core of, if you hear somebody describe surface level diversity, essentially, surface level is what you can see. So often people are drawn to race and ethnic indicators for how to describe somebody or how to describe the diversity of their staff or their employees. Deep level diversity considers a lot of those neural aspects, meaning personality, how people think, the multiple intelligences, and understanding that there is more to diversity and the diverse experience of each individual human than just those surface level indicators, like she has light skin and blonde hair, or he has blue eyes and black hair. Like there's a difference between those surface level descriptors, or if somebody's saying, 75% of our staff are women. Those are surface level indicators of diversity. Deep level diversity actually examines what are the motivating factors for this particular person. What is their personality? What is their communication style? What is their leadership style? All of those other facets underneath that really drive decision making and what that person values, how they resolve conflict, what will motivate them. All of that is wrapped up into that umbrella term of deep level diversity. So you have surface level and deep level, something to consider when you hear somebody throw out the word diversity, because sometimes when you're asking a question, they might think they are speaking to diversity from all aspects, and they're really just boiling it down to one indicator. And the other thing to be aware of is it just lets you know. It lets you know where a person is at with how they interpret even a question like that. And if maybe there needs to be some more work done with even unpacking, how do we define diversity and what does that look like for our particular organization or the mission that we find ourselves all serving together. So just a quick little riff on that, and wanted to also remind you all how you can use this podcast. I hope you enjoy it. And again, leave me a note, leave me a message. And again, more information in the new year. 2022 is coming for how you can submit questions you have, as well as submit yourself to actually answer those questions. We are setting up systems to make sure that that's really simple for you to record your 10-minute or less response. And then we will share any of your bio information you'd like for us to share. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Take care. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself today and tuning in to this episode of the Cultural Capacity Podcast. We're glad you're here. If you found value in this episode, be sure to share out with your social networks. Hit the subscribe button and leave us a review on Apple. All the things. Finally, don't forget to take advantage of our free quarterly subscription that is in our podcast description. The link is right there. It's called Better Community, and we would love to have you join us there too. Until next time, take care.